Hi, I'm Rita Wilkins, also known as the Downsizing Designer. So tonight I'm going to talk to you about a subject that many people ask me about, and that is how to let go of your sentimental clutter. So if you are downsizing or decluttering your home, you might be having difficulty with letting go of some of those sentimental things, and you might have a hard time letting go because you know that you just can't keep everything and you have to let go of it, but it's killing you to give it up and to let go of those items. So bottom line is you might be stuck and you might be very frustrated, stressed, even overwhelmed, and you might even feel guilty about letting go of those things. So on some level, though, you might even realize that holding on to these things is preventing you from moving on with your life, and it's holding you back. So basically, it's an emotional roadblock that you're at, and it's a crossroads. So understanding that clutter is clutter of any kind, even sentimental clutter, is simply deferring a decision to another time. So when you think about it that way, I'll get around to it someday. When X happens, I'll get rid of it, or I'll be ready to give it up someday. But right now, if you are decluttering and you're downsizing, you're kind of being forced into, what am I going to do with this, even though it is sentimental? So your worries are very normal, and I hear them all the time, but there are ways to deal with them. So if you're trying to downsize or declutter right now, and you're being faced with this, you're holding on to them for some reason, perhaps for a very long time. It could be your mom's dishes, your dad's alarm clock, your kids' trophies, family photos. These are all of the kinds of clutter or sentimental clutter that people do hold on to. So there are 4 top reasons why it's difficult to let go. Number 1 is a sentimental attachment. So when you have sentimental items you're having a hard time letting go of, they're reminders of specific times of your life, events that happened that were good or bad, people, places. They all bring back good or bad memories. And so it's natural for you to be somewhat attached to them. A second reason that people have difficulty letting go is the scarcity mindset. Sometimes things help us feel safe or secure, which is a basic human need, so it's certainly understandable. And sometimes we hold on to these things because they make us feel safe and secure. They might even remind us of a time in our lives where we were cared for and protected. So that's one reason, giving away some of our parents' things, they remind us of that time of our life. And then scarcity. There's the fear of being without or not having enough. And this can help us, it can make us actually hold on to those things. So feeling that maybe you spent good money on something, or that you worked really hard for that you spent money for, it makes us feel like we're wasting it if we give it away or let it go. Knowing, your parents worked hard for something, or they saved money to buy something, like in my case, I know they worked hard for certain pieces of furniture that they kept in their home for many years, or a particular set of silver. So when you give that kind of thing away, you're kind of giving up a piece of you and a piece of your history. But it also prevents you from moving on with your life. And then there's a 4th reason why it's difficult for us to let go of sentimental items, and that's the someday phenomenon. So it's another reason for us to procrastinate, or to say, I'll do it someday. But that whole idea of resisting because I might need it someday, and so you continue to hold on to it, that could be sentimental, but it also could be something a little bit deeper than that. So there are certain steps that you can take if you are having difficulty letting go. So it's how to get past the reasons that we hold on. So if you were to take one item that you're having some difficulty with, maybe particular difficulty with, what good memories do you have about that item? What bad memories do you have about that item? And then what emotions does that item elicit? So are they sad, angry, upset, happy? When you can connect with the good emotion, the bad emotion, and what it makes you feel, then it's just so important to acknowledge that it's helping you, or it's making you kind of live in the past and look back, not forward. So it's making you hold on to either a good memory or a bad memory. So if you are downsizing and decluttering and you're having to deal with all of this stuff, and much of it is sentimental, if you kind of go through those questions, like, what are the good memories, the bad memories, what do I feel about it? And then just acknowledge it, that this is holding me back if I continue to hold on to it. So then if it elicits bad memories, ask yourself, are you willing at this moment in time to let go of it? Why are you holding on to it? Are you ready to put it into the past so that you can move on? So sometimes photos of a marriage after you're divorced, there is such a thing as like burning a photo or burning a letter, those kind of things that are really holding you back because they bring you right back to where you were in that moment in time, and it brings up those bad memories. It's pretty cathartic and very liberating to be able to let go of some of those things. So those simple questions will help you. So now, conversely, if an item brings back good memories, and we've all experienced this kind of thing, I would recommend that you take a photo of it. You write a story about it. So for me, it was our dad's alarm clock. When I saw that in a box that had sat there for 10 years, I picked it up and I cried because it reminded me of him getting up in the morning, winding it, and providing for our family. So obviously, he didn't want me to keep this $1.99 alarm clock. And when I was downsizing, there was no way that I wanted to take that with me. So I took a photo of it, wrote a story about it, like, why did I cry over an alarm clock? And then I let it go. What you can also do over a period of time after you've, collected a lot of these memories and a lot of these photos is to create a Shutterfly book. So you now have an official document that says, this is why Mom or Grandma cried over an alarm clock. And, it's a story about your life and a way that it could live on. And they'll understand, why that meant so much to you. So another tip would be that if you have multiples of a collection, rather than keeping the entire collection, if you keep one piece from that collection, and then take a picture of the rest, and in a way you have the entire collection. For me, it was our mom's dinnerware. She had sets of 12, and I kept 4. And now that's not one, but it helped me certainly be able to use it still, have the memory, and still not have to take all of it with me. So family photos is another area that people have a lot of difficulty with. So once you've organized them, sorted them, to just digitize them, there's a company called legacy.com, legacybox.com, that does a fine job of that. So, if you're not digitizing yourself, then have them digitized. And then if you have things like kids' trophies or their school books, this is kind of funny, but I'm going to say ask them. Do they really want them? So oftentimes I see as I'm designing homes, I see in the kids' rooms, the old school books, the banners, the sweatshirts, all of those kind of things. And there are reasons. They're sentimental. That's why, they held on to them. But the bottom line is your kids might be grown and they might say, like my kids did, Mom, why are you keeping that? So have them tell you, yes, I want it, or no, I don't. And if they want it, have them take it. So by simply asking them. So hopefully you can even get a good laugh out of, laugh at yourself at some of the things that you've held on to for all these years, and that you've allowed to take up space, not just in your home, but also in your mind. So, and now that you're downsizing, decluttering, you realize, it's time to make these decisions. It's time to stop resisting. And it's time to start living with less so you can live more. So I hope this video has helped you some if you have had difficulty letting go of sentimental items. If you want to learn more, I do have a 6-week decluttering challenge that you can register for on my website. It's only $30, but it helps you dig down deep into what is clutter, why do you clutter, why do you want to declutter, and a lot of the ideas that we just now discussed about, why it's so hard to declutter. And so you can start living a clutter-free life. So if you're interested, my website is Design Services Ltd. or Rita Wilkins at ritawilkins.com.